Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro.
Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you also follow me on all my social media platforms to stay connected with all Keek on the Mic news. So, Bears fans, I have an interesting topic of discussion to bring up today here on Keek on the Mic. As we all know, Ryan Poles and Chicago Bears have been doing their best to surround Justin Fields with more weapons. And obviously they traded the #1 overall pick to add DJ Moore. We drafted Tyler Scott out of Cincinnati. We still have Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney coming back. So overall, Justin Fields has a whole lot of weapons to throw to this season. But what I wanted to talk about today on the podcast is the forgotten man out of that group, and that is second-year Chicago Bears wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. And Velus Jones Jr. is definitely the forgotten man here out of the group of receivers that I just listed here on the podcast. And I think Bears fans, including myself, kind of need to go back and look at Velus Jones Jr. as a player and what he can actually offer to the Chicago Bears football team. When you look at a guy like Velus Jones Jr., especially as a receiver last year, it wasn't good, right? On 14 targets, he only had 7 catches for 170 yards and a touchdown. But where we really saw Velus Jones Jr. value was as a return man. But even then, he did have some ball security issues, cost us a couple games in terms of fumbles. So he did definitely have his issues in his first season as a Chicago Bear. But I think when you look at a guy like Velus Jones Jr., I think there is still a lot of value there in terms of what he can offer, not only Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears offense. But according to Tyke Tolbert, the Chicago Bears wide receiver coach, during an interview with NBC Sports Chicago, he spoke about Velus Jones Jr. and how he looks like a completely upgraded player from year one. This is what he had to say about Velus Jones Jr. He's got a lot more, I guess, juice, Tolbert said, a little more pep in his step. I say that, and everybody knows he's the fastest guy in the room, but when he gets out there, he hears the play now. He lines up really fast and knows what he's doing. I think it's the confidence in knowing what to do, because he would tell you himself, last year he was like a deer in the headlights a lot of the time. Now he knows what to do. He answers all the questions in the meetings. Then he gets onto the field and knows how to go out there and execute it. I think, again, being a year in the system has helped him tremendously, probably helped him more than anybody in the room. And Bears fans, wide receiver coach Tyke Tober is absolutely right. When you turn on the tape and look at Velus Jones Jr., he did in fact look like a deer in headlights. I think it has a lot to do with how complex his offense is, and it also has a lot to do with Velus Jones Jr. didn't get a lot of reps in terms of playing receiver for the Chicago Bears offense last season, and primarily he was a special teamer, return specialist for the Chicago Bears, and that's where he got most of his playing time. And Tyke Tolbert said it perfectly. He did look like a deer in headlights, because all in all, he was trying to learn the offense. And most Bears fans will look at Velus Jones Jr. and say, you know, that's just a wasted pick by Ryan Poles. He'll probably end up getting lost in the shuffle with this group of receivers, and he'll probably end up getting cut after training camp from the Chicago Bears. But I actually disagree with that statement, because one, I still think he offers a lot of value, one, as a special teamer, and I think he still has a lot of potential, and I think Luke Getsy, Matt Eberflus, and the offensive staff, and even Tyke Tober will be able to unlock a new level in Velus Jones Jr. There's no questioning his size, and there's no questioning his athleticism. There's no questioning his speed, his toughness. And when you really watch Velus Jones Jr., especially at the end of last year, he definitely started to turn it on. He made a couple plays here and there down the stretch. One play that I really like to bring up is that deep ball from Justin Fields to Velus Jones Jr. in that Buffalo Bills game. I think he also had a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings as well on a little screen pass. But he really started to turn it on, and you could definitely tell he started to get more and more comfortable at the end of the season within the Chicago Bears offense. So now all he had to do is take that momentum, go into the offseason, continue to learn the playbook, continue to build that chemistry with the offensive scheme and Justin Fields. And I think he did just that. And it's really good news. It's really encouraging that wide receiver coach Tyke Tolbert is seeing those improvements and seeing those upgrades of Velus Jones Jr. because I feel like he can be used to really help this offense. And I know I bring this up all the time. I talked about us adding DJ Moore and how that's gonna unlock guys like Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney, which is also true. But I also think it's going to unlock guys like Velus Jones Jr. I think Velus Jones Jr. will have a bigger role in the Chicago Bears offense than we give him credit for. And I'm all here for it because I know this is a point that I really want to bring up. I know with Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney being in contract years, I know Ryan Poles is going to have a decision possibly to make if we should either keep Chase Claypool or Darnell Mooney. But then you look at a guy like Velus Jones Jr. How about he contributes a lot to the Chicago Bears offense? That makes Ryan Poles' job easier to possibly let one of those guys walk in Claypool and Mooney, right? So I am definitely rooting for a guy like Velus Jones Jr. I think he is a dangerous weapon. I think we saw it in spurts last year. It wasn't a lot. His stats weren't incredible, but you did see in spurts down the stretch that, man, maybe this guy, if used the right way, which we know Luke Getsy will be creative in using a guy like Velus Jones Jr., if he is used in the right way, he can be absolutely a dynamic weapon, not only for the Chicago Bears offense, but for Justin Fields. So overall, Bears fans, this is a great update. Hopefully he continues this momentum into training camp, into these preseason games, and hopefully he can be a valuable asset to the Chicago Bears offense and Justin Fields. So Bears fans, before I let you guys go, let me ask you guys this. What is your expectation from wide receiver Velus Jones Jr. this season for the Chicago Bears? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. Make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, back for all new Bears podcasts right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You've been listening to Geek on the Mic, a podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Thanks, guys, and bear down.